Isn't this a glorious patch of purple loosestrife? It's full of bees at the moment collecting pollen, and it's just one of the many wildflowers to be found alongside these Norfolk streams. Although right here it doesn't look much like a stream, I'll admit. It's actually been artificially widened, but further up and down it's very small. It's almost sort of Indian style, creepy crawly stuff, with just a hook, no float, nothing else. But what I'm going to do is start off by trying to catch the roach and rudd which live here on a fly rod. This is a pretty little pool here where the river drops down about 4 feet. I used to catch some very big roach here about 10 years ago, but the river doesn't really hold fish of this size now. Well, there's quite a few dace about though. Don't want to fall through the woodwork here. There's a little pike over there, about 3 pounds. Let's put a few maggots in. I like messing about with a fly rod. I know it's not kosher and all that, but I just like messing about with it. Later on, when we get further down the stream, when it's really overgrown, I think I'll get my special little stream rod out and a fixed spool reel. But for now, I'll just have a plink out and see if I can get a dace. It's funny, it's the fisherman and the little boy and you all rolled into one. I mean, oh, there's a minnow got hold of the maggot there. It doesn't really matter whether I get one or not, but it's just a bit of fun. Oh, there was a better dace there. No, it's lifted up again. Can't really see it. It's not easy to see the maggot as it goes down through the fast water there. Lost sight of it, no. One went to take that, but it missed it. There you go. Actually, there's more dace coming into... tiny little thing there. More dace coming into view now, but there's nothing of the calibre that this river used to once produce. Oh! That was, for this little pool, that was a monster. There was about 6 inches and I missed it. It's got me maggot. Quite enjoying having 5 minutes here. There you go. I've just got one tiny little shot on about a foot from the maggot, and it has to get through the minnows. There's about 5 million minnows first, and there's a dace. Ah! I'm no good at this. Should have got that one. The trouble with the fly rod is, of course, for striking very quick biting fish, it's not very efficient because it's so soft. Great for landing big fish, of course, but it's not very good. Oh, here we are. Oh, missed that one. Just can't strike quick enough, that's the problem. We'll get one in a minute. They're tiny little fish, they are. Oh! Put a few more maggots in. There's quite a few dace down there. Can't see any roach though, or chub, just... Oh, look at that, that's ridiculous. Oh dear, it's rather embarrassing, isn't it? Never mind. That's a tiny little chub, about 2.5, no, could be 3 inches. Let's just... Well, I plunked him in upstream and he went under the bridge. Must like it in this pool. Well, we've got to do better than that, that's ridiculous. Still, there's a lot of young boys I know who would like messing about with fish like this. It's a shame in a lot of our river systems now, you don't get lots of small shellfish anymore. It's rather a shame. Whoops, missed that one. Hello, I flicked my maggot off there. put another one on. Nowadays, most kids seem to start their fishing career in gravel pits and lakes, and thank heavens for the gravel pits, but I don't know, there's something about a river. It's a moving, living, breathing thing, and it's something that teaches you about flow patterns and watercraft, and I wish there was a lot more rivers holding fish around. No, they don't really seem to want to know two maggots. Now that's falling nicely. Yes, gotcha. Lovely little dace. Let's just pop you back upstream. Oh, jumped out of my hand. Right, one more and then I'm going to move. Trouble is, when I start messing about like this, I can't stop it. Sort of, it's catching. That's better. Couple more maggots in. So many tiny little fish. Oh, I've got another little. Oh, that's enough. I've had enough of this. I can't keep catching these little fellows all day long. Oh, oh dear. Let's put him back upstream. There we are. Right, I think I've had enough of this diversion, as pleasant as it is. Let's go and explore further downstream. Cool, it's thick through here. All caught up with a bit of crud here. There we are. Oh, that's better. Oh, I thought, yes, here we are. That's incredible. I took that on the drop, that was tremendous. I don't think it's a roach, it's a little bit too powerful. Looks like a chub, it's got a big mouth, but it's not that big either. These fish are just taking these maggots on the surface too aggressively for roach. Come on. There's a lot of weed here. I've got to be so careful that I don't lose it in the weed. Incredible amount of weed. It's on top of the silt. Come on. Careful. He's stuck on the weed. Gotcha. There he is. He's not a monster, but great fun on this little fly outfit. Oh, that was lucky. The hook's just in the scissors there. Whoops, not a monstrous fish, but he's still very lively. Look at that. Let's put you straight back, shall we? That's perfect. Come on. Waiting for something to touch that, but nothing has yet. Now, they don't seem to touch it when it's coming round. Perhaps we might get a roach or a rudd as it's gone through the chub. No. No. Right, let's try it again. It's definitely those first few seconds that, right there. It's coming towards it now. Come on. Yes! These are great fun, these are. Hello, what's this? This looks like a roach. Yes, it is. Oh, it's a pretty fish. It's not very big, but... Right, here we go. Lovely looking roach, that. Oh, there's something nice about catching a roach on the fly rod. Look at that. Isn't that mint? Isn't that beautiful? Well, Although I'm walking beside a beautiful little Norfolk stream here, one of the biggest problems of our day is water pollution. I'm very happy to have you, Alan, as Director of the ACA to natter to. And the first questions I've got to ask you is, what is the worst form of pollution affecting running water today?
Well, the answer to that, John, has to be the
sometimes
problem.
A trout there.
Yeah. The problem created by the changes of agricultural practice. You see, way back in 1974, which is not a long time ago, there were 77 major pollution incidents attributable to farmers. Now, last year, that figure was over 4,000, and that was 6% up on the previous year.
That's farming practices alone.
Well, yeah, that's right. It's the problems with silage and with slurry. The farmers are good at putting the stuff in the front of cattle, not so good at coping with what comes out the other end.
Ah. I think it's worth stressing at this point, Alan, that it's obviously not all farmers who are inconsiderate in polluting the waterways, but who comes next on the list?
Well, the next on the list, without doubt, has to be the fact that we have more than 1,000 sewage treatment plants which are not working efficiently enough to do a proper job.
Yeah, I remember reading a few weeks ago about the water authorities, how they made a 1,000 million profit last year and then promptly spent 9 million of it telling us how great they were on television adverts. Don't you think they could have spent that money more wisely in cleaning up some of the worstly, polluted areas?
I would have liked to have seen it spent on the sewage treatment plants, but it does seem to me that the whole situation is rather like a mail order company which accepts an order, accepts the cash, and then doesn't deliver the goods.
Right, that's right. Now, as I understand it, the ACA was actually founded over 40 years ago to fight pollution on anglers' behalf, and it is the only association doing that, isn't it?
Well, that's correct. And of course, what happens is we use the common law aspect to go for damages on behalf of members. And it's only a few weeks since we settled, within the space of 10 days, 5 pollution incidents and cases, and the total damages which were recovered on behalf of anglers was £284,000. And the largest percentage of that was to do with the chemical pollution from a paper tissue firm in South Wales. But all of the money goes back to members to help them put rivers back into good order. We'd rather not see a pollution.
Of course we all would, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
And all it costs anglers a year to join the ACA is a couple of packets of cigarettes.
Well, that's right. It's a £5 a year.
Well, I wish a lot more people would join, because they don't realise, people who live beside rivers that are crystal clear and running and full of fish don't realise the people in particularly the industrialised areas, how they suffer from lack of fishing due to pollution, do they?
Well, they don't. They don't. And a £5 a year is peanuts today.
Of course it is. Well, Alan, here comes the big crunch question, I suppose. What's going to happen with our fishing? Is there time to put it right?
Well, John, the setting up of the National Rivers Authority and the separation of the policeman, burglar and judge aspect of the water authorities controlling every aspect must be good. It's going to depend very much indeed upon the will of the National Rivers Authority members and whether or not it will be properly funded.
Yeah.
We, of course, will continue to use common law actions on behalf of anglers.
Good. Well, let's hope somebody in the government watches this programme and actually puts their money where the mouth is.
Aye, amen to that.
Well, I know you've got a long drive. You're off to the game fair now, isn't it, in Hampshire?
That's correct.
Wow, well, thanks for talking to us. I think I'm going to mosey off downstream into the wild piece there and catch a few more roach and chub, hopefully.
Well, it looks good, and I wish you well.
Thanks very much, Alan. Well, here we are. We're really in the wild part of the river now, and if I don't want to get stung, I'll keep my hands well up. Actually, it's quite beautiful through here. There's Lots of wildflowers, willow herb, meadow sweet, lots of thistles. I know there's a fallen log there, gonna have to be careful with that. The perfumes really are beautiful. And of course the secret of fishing these little tiny rivers where it's overgrown like this is stealth. It's not always easy when you've got to fight your way slowly through this sort of undergrowth, but the reason the fish live in this little river virtually unfished for is because most people don't want to fish like this. I've got my special little streaming rod with me at the moment. It's only 10 foot long and baby fixed spool reel, £3 line and all my baits, slugs, caddies, bit of bread, hooks, weights, a few float pieces are all in my jacket, and I've got the landing net on my back, so I don't really need any more bits and pieces. Looks beautiful there. There's a lovely little pool on this bend, and I'm going to have to skirt this very carefully here. Pick my feet up, be very quiet, otherwise we're going to scare the inhabitants of the pool before I ever get there. No room for the fly rod, these sort of places. I've got to creep down here because if my shadow hits that water, I'm done for. That's why I don't really need a rod of any longer than 10 foot here. This one's actually made from a fly blank that takes a size 4 line, and it really bends nicely on the mostly small fish that I expect to catch here. Here we are, we're right above the bend here. And normally in this little river I'd use free-lining tactics without any shots or floats on the line at all, but this is a lovely little trot down here, so I'm going to use a little bit of peacock quill and just one swan shot on the line and just let it trot through. Now I've got to be so quiet here. I'm sure there's a lot of fish right through this little riffle, but I mustn't scare them before I start. Ooh! I think what I'm going to do is use a bit of bread flake to start off with, see if there's anything reasonable about. Got a size 8 hook on, direct to £3 line. Nice piece of bread flake. Now, if there's anything decent there, that should get taken first trot through, although little fish like chub, etc., can still take it, so it doesn't necessarily mean to say I'm going to catch anything big just because I've got a ball. Something gave a little twitch then. Ah! Yes, we're in straight away. Hello. Oh, trying to get underneath those roots. It's not big. It's amazing on this light fly blank, even a small fish puts quite a bend in the rod. Oh, it's a small chub. Oh, look at that, first cast. Come on, up you come. Pressure here is incredible against this riffle. Well, that's a nice start. Straight away, talk about instant fishing. Look at that. Great fun, this stream fishing. You don't need a lot of tackle. You just need to be stealthy and just know your river. About £1, but great fun on light tackle. Away you go. Now, one of the best baits for summer chub fishing are these little black beauties, aren't they lovely? I was up early at dawn this morning catching those through the long wet grass, and they really are one of the best summer chubbing baits you can get. Are slugs. They make a nice, get in, loud plop when they hit the water, and generally the chub come rushing out and grab them immediately. Just hook them once gently through the side, like that. There we are. And just by way of a change, I've forsaken the rod. I've cut a willow twig, and there's 7 foot of £5 line, and I'm going to see if I can catch a chub au naturel. using nothing other than stealth. This is where they hang out, under this bush over here. Whoops, stinging nettle's got my slug there. Now there's several chub live under this tree here. And the secret is getting very, very close. Now I've got to be very careful here. I'm not used to fishing with willow branches. What I'm hoping for is that a chub hears the plop, comes out and grabs this immediately. Oh, I'm in the tree there. Now let's see. Did they hear it? I'm watching the line here as it's going downstream. It's tightening. Oh! Missed it. Whew! That took that like lightning. Let's put another slug on. That took the slug then. The line absolutely shot off like a bowstring. Let's try another one. They're lovely, these black slugs. Beautiful. Down we go. That one's floating, it won't sink. Down it goes. Line's just tightening gently with the current. Nothing yet. It's frustrating with a stick, you can't give any line. Yes, here we are. Oh. Oh. Look at that. Well, he's not very big. But he did take the slug. Whoops. Nonetheless, about 6 ounces. Just shows you what you can do with a willow twig, doesn't it? Let's put him back straight away. Away you go. Whoa! Straight under that bush. Well, I've given up the little old willow twig now and I've gone on to free lining gear. But at least it does show you, even in these tight little swims, just what you can get away with. But this swim needs a little longer cast and I'm going to creep up to the end of this pool. It's a right angle bend here and it's quite deep. There may even be 1 or 2 roach, but I suspect chub as always. And I'm going to flick it well upstream. I've got a small shot about 1 foot from the hook and I'm going to watch the line where it comes back towards me. It's a nice bow in the line, but of course if something takes it, then it tightens. It's quite deep, this pool. It really could hold some roach, but not having fished it before, I'm not too sure. Nope, nothing there. Let's put another bit of bread on. I'm just going to move a little to the left because I've got the light coming through the trees there and that's better, spoiling my vision. I've taken my Polaroids off. It's easier watching the line on the surface without glasses. Now that's coming down nicely now. The sun's poking through the trees. Down it comes. No touches there at all. I thought we would have at least had a bit of a peck there from something. Just mend the line a little. Here we are. Ah, at last. Now what is it? Oh, it's a little chub. After all that weight, I thought that was going to be a roach or something worthwhile. Well, even though they're small fish, they're an awful lot of fun. We've had a good day today. And I think we'll call this fish the end of the programme. Away you go.